got a special edition episode again with Mrs. Natasha Dow, actually. I call it Romanov or Romanov. I don't know. Let me ask you a question. Do you know who Romanov is?
No, I don't.
You don't know who Romanov is? Do you know who Romanov is? Okay. Have you ever watched Avengers?
Yes.
Okay. You know a character called Black Widow?
No.
You don't know
What?
a character
No.
called Black Widow? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Mrs. Natasha Dow. And it's a show that we'll be talking about third culture. I don't know what third culture is, so this is what I'm going to be learning in the next 20 minutes just to get to know much more about the subject matter. This show will be running every Friday, 3 to 3:30. How are you doing this afternoon?
To be quite honest, a little bit nervous.
Nah, it's
Yes.
okay.
Even woke up early to put on makeup, which if you know me, that is not something I do. But they said, if you want to feel good on the inside, you got to start on the
On
outside.
the outside. Yeah. So I've got this thing of tall, dark, and handsome. I'm a little bit short on the tall side. But the outside of the darkness part is really working for me. Okay, just on the surface, who is Natasha Dow?
Do you have more than 30 minutes? No, I am one of the 3 Dow children. So my sister was in here earlier. She is the eldest, and I'm the youngest of the
3.
trio of goodness. So I've spent the last 12 years living in the US, and then I moved back home quite recently, dragged my husband with me, and now we are here running the Dow Academy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw you play basketball just now.
Yes, he's quite the active one. It's quite tiring.
It's quite tiring. Okay, so joining me on the show is going to be Miss Lee, the DJ, who's going to be also anchoring the show with Mrs. Natasha Dow. And obviously the sidekick is the incredible Anesu Mosubelo. Is that how you say it yourself?
So
Yeah, I just flew that. Don't blame me. No, I don't know. They don't say it right.
they don't at all.
How do you how
They
do
always never get it wrong. They always get it wrong, right?
say it slowly?
So pale.
Yes.
So
Bad.
pelo.
Exactly. Like
They always assume it's a son of them.
Musu pelo.
Oh.
Yeah, Mosubelo.
Like I once heard someone saying so
It's actually funny that Angela doesn't know how to say Marshall, like Mr. Marshall. She says Masu.
She says what?
Masu.
That's not true.
True, she even wrote it down.
She said Masu.
Yeah.
She wrote it down?
Yeah, right? Angie's like my Rachel on the show. Apparently, all of these guys don't know who Fresh Prince is. But
What?
I don't see how that's possible.
you know who Fresh Prince is. They didn't
I know who.
I just didn't know.
You had to
Well,
Google it, let's be honest.
quite a few.
What? No, I know who Fresh Prince is. I knew who. He's not. He's not telling the truth.
Third culture
Yes.
definition. What is third culture? Should we start with you or Miss?
No,
Mrs. Dow?
I said I am the third.
You're third
Oh,
culture.
yes.
So you are definition.
Yes, I'm the definition.
Okay. So we've had this
So-
XY generation stuff, and then there's now this whole third culture thing going on around. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, let me tell you guys what it is. It's not.
You muffled with the mask, so I can't pick you up much.
Okay.
Great.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, let me not just say it's me.
Yeah.
Well, the term third culture kid is applied to children who have spent their formative years living in among foreign countries away from their home country.
Oh.
So yes.
So all of us right here.
Yeah, pretty much.
We are third culture. I feel like the fourth wheel
Yeah.
is third culture.
We are
Well,
actually.
yeah, because the term goes back, I think it was coined the 1950s. So a lot of parents and people were moving from other countries, going to the Western countries looking for better opportunities. So the kids either were moved from, let's say, India or China, were being raised in Iowa or in England, far away from what their original, I guess, culture is.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's it applies to even people who have mixed parents.
Oh yeah.
Right, because it's the culture you have outside your door and it's the culture you have inside your house because things are just done differently.
Yeah. Actually, interesting question. When you were talking about, different countries there and different states and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In England, I don't know if it's the same thing, but I guess now it's post what farming was. You know what children
Yeah.
farming was?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you educate us on what children farming, or it was just termed farming? Like what farming it was? Like in England at some point.
Farming?
Yeah.
You mean like when they went out and farmed, like communities?
Actually, strangely enough, like West Africa was, you know, like Nigeria and these countries like Senegal and stuff like that, they would farm children for these white couples that couldn't have children
Oh,
in England.
Yeah.
Like I think it was just after the World War II and going into the like I think it's like 50s and 60s and 70s, where like couples in England, old couples that didn't have children, would start getting these African kids coming, or parents bringing their African kids in. It's sort of like an adoption.
So I would say like adoption agencies, but not quite legit.
Yes, but it was called like farming and stuff like that. It was like a big deal. Like a couple of Hollywood actors were products of that. Adwele, Chiwetel, you know Chiwetel, and Adwele and stuff like that. So I didn't know like if farming and third culture are related, but now that I hear the definitions, they're actually quite different. Third culture is us kids who are now growing in different countries, learning new things.
Right.
Adapting to it.
Yes, getting married to different people, of
Right.
different cultures, and different races. What is the extremist of third culture, you think?
What's the what?
The extremists of like third culture, like Asian, Black, something that you wouldn't imagine. Like if you're a child of a mixed, like
Oh.
Asian and you couldn't. Yeah, you know what I mean. Have you ever thought? Okay, let me put it this way. Have you ever imagined yourself marrying a Chinese person?
I wouldn't mind, but outside.
No, because
It's not something you've thought about?
because they are there, like more
Yeah.
in LA, I think, where you have mixed Asian races with Black people and stuff like that, right?
Well, to be fair to Nessa, I feel like you might have to have like a large population of Chinese girls your age for you to even think about it. So we can't really hold you, you know, I don't know, a couple or something, because, you know, there are not a whole lot of Asians out here in
Yes.
Machudi for you to be
Yes.
to be thinking about.
Okay, so that's one. So exposure could be the reason to what third culture is coming about. Like for instance, you know, you were born in Botswana.
Yes.
Yes, ended up living in America.
Yes.
Your parents are.
My mom's Botswana, my dad's American.
Yes, right? And then you're married to
A Romanian.
who happened to be from Romania living in?
In the US.
Okay, so let's track back. Let's move from how that sort of, I don't know, the journey of migration and how it has affected you as a person, or impacted you, because affect is like negative, but impacted you positively.
I mean, because my father was not from Botswana, and also my mother was quite exposed to a lot of cultures because of her upbringing.
Yes.
Like my grandparents being from Muchudu were actually very liberal and very forward thinking. Like they were just like, there's a whole world out there. Botswana's very, very tiny. Get out and go see it. You can always come back. It's not a big deal. So for me, leaving Botswana was always expected at some level. Either myself or my parents were like, you know, you have to go see the rest of the world. So traveling the world or leaving your home village, quite literally for me, was always something I was prepared to do because, you know, I wanted to go see what the rest of the world looked like.
Yeah.
Plus, I wanted to not be like the one person who wasn't black. Like, no, I mean, I'm mixed, you know, so and all my friends are black. I was like, you know, at some point there's got to be another one of me out there who isn't my brother,
Yeah.
you know?
And then in Botswana, or you would say maybe in sub-Saharan, you'd be called what? Colored.
Colored.
Okay.
Yes, which makes certain Americans very uncomfortable to say that word.
So in America, you are actually just black.
I'm considered black, or on a government piece of paper, I am mixed race or biracial.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you guys don't use colored?
No, colored in America has a very negative connotation. Like it's rooted in racism.
You know Jim Crow?
So like during the whole civil rights movement, you know, so there was the N-word, which is still very bad to say, but another word for it was also colored. So if you're colored folk, you were black. So when I go there and I say I'm colored, people are like, skirt.
We don't say that.
Like everybody stops, like, oh no,
Wait,
what did
you
she say?
Like the first time you did say something.
Can I get you on the microphone? I can pick you up. Thank you very
Yeah, I
much.
was like, did you actually use that word when you went there the first time?
No, because my father's from there. We used to travel there when I was even younger. So only when I really realized that was something,
Understood,
by then
yeah.
it was already on paper that the only other option was like mixed race or 2 or more races.
Yeah.
So I knew that I wasn't supposed to use it. But sometimes I like to do it just to be cheeky. Yeah.
Okay, so but you do understand that in South Africa, it's actually quite a legit word to use.
Yes.
Like, communities call themselves the colored community.
Right. No, yeah, definitely. But again, there are communities who are colored, but I wasn't one of those coloreds. Right?
Yeah.
Look at those Cape coloreds, which in and
You
of
wouldn't be
itself,
colored
no,
anyway.
I'm not.
Yeah. Wow. And then, are you of mixed race or just mixed nationality or culture? Let's put it. I don't know. First of all, let's define culture.
Yes, please.
Yes. Because when you're a mixed culture, it's kind of like a whole different story.
I think there's culture, there's race, and then there's
Nationality.
Nationality. Yeah. All right. So what are you?
mixed nationality and culture. Since nationality is, you know,
You gotta
carries
speak up
culture.
because you speak
Yeah.
internally, so I can't hear you. So I
Okay.
need to feel you come to me and tell me
Every
truthfully.
single nationality carries their own culture. So I am mixed nationality.
Okay.
That makes me mixed culture too.
So what nationalities are you?
South African and Botswana.
South African and Botswana.
Yes.
Okay. There's a thing of being like your mother tongue story.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So, honestly, what are you?
What am okay? My mom Zimbabwean, my dad Zambian, and I lived here in Botswana, so which kind of makes me like the real definition of third culture kid. And I grew up here since 2008. I've been here, so yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I was bringing the term mother tongue, we take our father's surnames, but they say we take our mother's tongue. Is that even true? Do we?
Well, it depends. Do you speak your mother's tongue?
Yes, I speak
I
Shona.
did.
You did.
I took my mom's tongue.
Do you still speak your mom's tongue?
Yeah, I don't speak my dad's tongue. Is that a word? I don't speak
My
my
dad's
Your mother language?
yeah, my mother language.
Okay.
Setswana.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the reason why I was asking this is because you have lived in America for the longest time. You grew up in Botswana. You grew up speaking Setswana.
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. And you were born in Zimbabwe or Botswana?
Yeah, I was born in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe. Okay. And now you speak Setswana fluently.
Yes.
More than you speak Shona.
Said it so
No.
confidently.
So you speak Shona properly.
Because I speak short at home like every day.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
All right.
yeah. But I'm good at Setswana. I think I'm good at Setswana. But there's always that constriction of course. Yeah, like that fluency.
Okay, cool. So we are on the TDA Tele Radio and we're talking third culture, all things mixed race, all things mixed nationality, language, everything that affects us every single day. Some in a good, some in a bad way. Sleep,
Yes.
language you speak at home.
At home, I speak Setswana.
Setswana.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't grow up speaking Setswana though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we are on this show, it's the first day. You guys are going to be running this show. You've got several topics that you guys are going to be touching on, right? So we sort of kind of have how do you say? A mixed bag right now. We're a mixed bag of topics and things that are going on. Just to get comfortable with the whole issue of third culture. Is it true, generally, like in Africa, when your family speak English at home, you're considered bourgeois?
What is it?
Yes.
You're just a little bougie.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, you tried to say bougie?
Yeah, the original is bourgeois.
It's bourgeois.
It's French, I
I'm
believe.
educated.
Bougie is the slang
It's
term.
a slang.
Oh.
term. Yes.
Learn
It's like
something
lit.
new every day.
There you go.
It's like being lit, but it's not how lit is supposed to be used.
How is this supposed to be used?
Oh my god.
Lit?
Like I lit you on fire. Like
To light something.
Yeah.
Isn't lit the correct word?
If you say I am lit,
Yeah?
I actually don't think grammatically that is correct.
It's not grammatically correct.
I believe there's an English teacher
Just
rolling
slang.
over in their graves
You
right
guys
now.
gonna be writing this in your exams.
Yeah, you can't be like, this weekend I was lit in an official like
You wanted
essay.
to say it.
Okay, what do you mean? When you say you are lit, what are you saying essentially?
You're lit.
Is
I
it
don't
you're
think
happy?
it's hard to describe in English now. Say I'm lit. How would you
No,
describe
it's
it? Like
because it's
normal?
common to you guys.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
criminality now is based on maybe culture again. Because the new pop culture has got so many things. Like
Right.
Bootylicious was like a big thing
Yeah.
because of Beyonce, right?
Yes.
But it's not a word that existed in 90s. 90s
No.
had its own slang. Like it's rad or
It's hip.
it's hip, you know. Exactly.
Yeah,
it
okay.
sounds old. for
That
you
face
guys.
you just made when you guys
Exactly.
started saying lit, we were giving you that face.
Yeah, like, come on, that's bad way of using English, you know. Okay, so yeah, let's go back to English. Does English define how educated your family is in Africa? Because at most, I'm talking about the English-speaking countries right now, right? If you get home and you find that your friend is talking to their parents in English and the parents are talking back to their kids in English, how does that make you perceive them in a way? Because I know general public makes it seem like, hey, they're trying to be bougie.
Yeah.
Yeah? Honest, let's start with you.
Okay, for me, like I think that most people, like if you speak English in your home, most people think that you're trying to be better than them. I think it's just like, but to be honest, it does sort of like reflect more. You're a bit more educated because like English is a global language that's used by most countries, which means it opens you up to more opportunities. Since like we don't know everything, right? Like some cultures know things that we don't. So we have to find a way to learn what they know that we don't, right? So we use one language to communicate that and everything. So it does reflect a bit more educated, but it doesn't mean that you're a better human being than the one that.
What do you think of this term? Because, I mean, I hear parents who actually say, I only take my kids to an English medium school.
Yeah. Okay,
But you guys, you know what I'm
no.
talking about, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So
Like marrying a white person in a black family is like, hey, sir, it's that one. Hey, he has made it. It's I has made it. I know this.
You're ridiculous.
But it's true.
No,
though.
no, completely. But you know what's funny is that the whole speaking English at home thing, which
Yeah.
I know that I'm about to essentially say something about how I grew up, because I grew up speaking both Tswana and English
Yeah.
because my father's white and American. But it's only English. You only say it's English because it's, I don't know, like you're more educated because we're colonized by an English-speaking country,
Yeah.
right? Or that there's a Commonwealth and people speak English. Now, if the Spaniards had been the one to like conquer all these countries, like it'd be the same thing if it was Spanish, right? We'd all be going home and be like, no, I don't speak Tswana, I speak Spanish at home, which I would much prefer because Spanish just sounds really nice compared to English. I mean, come on, could you
But-
imagine?
Like you said, it's the same thing with Angola and Portugal and Mozambique. Like everybody speaks Portuguese.
yeah.
Regardless, you went to school or not. The first thing you speak is Portuguese.
But the problem is because somebody said that their language and their culture was better than the one they found there. So they beat you into your head that you're supposed to internalize that their way of living is more, I don't know.
From an academia, like when somebody's now speaking French, like say you're in a country like South Africa or Botswana, and you know, say you speak Spanish, and people really regard you like at a high level.
Yeah.
You Botswana, you speak French? Wow. Okay, forget English, but French? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, but to be honest, that one of like speaking French and being regarded as someone who's like of higher standard, that one to me doesn't make sense. English I might get it because it's the language that's used by most countries and all, but French,
Yeah, I was about to say. They do exist in all the colors of the rainbow.
I know, right? Now, white Americans. Go to Texas, a whole lot of them. Okay. Name 2 people you know of mixed race that are successful.
I'm at this like steal off of her list.
Yeah.
Don't mean to cheat. I just learned this. Yo-Yo Ma. No, that was third culture one.
Yeah.
Mariah
Yes,
Carey.
these are third
Mariah
culture.
Carey, yay.
Yes, Mariah Carey is mixed race, but she, as they call it, she passes as white, which is a whole different conversation.
Why?
There's a term called passing as white, is when you are, people assume you're white because you look it. They don't assume that you might be mixed. And for a long time, it worked for people, particularly if you were black, but you were light enough to be white, because it meant you got the privilege and the benefits of being white, even
Can
though
I
you were
throw
not.
names? Can I throw names?
Yes.
The Rock.
Yes.
He passes
He
as?
passes as white, and he's mixed, right? He's like Pacific Islander.
Yeah. That looks more black than anything.
Yeah.
Like Hawaiian, some Samoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason Momoa, he doesn't pass, but he is mixed and very beautiful.
Okay.
But yes.
Who passes as white? Barack, well, he went all the way black.
He had to, man. He
Even
could.
his mom is like so pure white.
Yeah, he couldn't. No, what? African Americans were not gonna live that. What? If you even said that their president was mixed, they didn't understand what you were talking
He
about.
was
He was
just
black.
black as black as black. Black is black as black
Yeah.
as black. That reminds me of the
There was a song, My
from
President's
Roots.
Black.
Oh yes, there's a song that too. Lenny Kravitz.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a thing that I wanted to understand. There's a bigger side of what white is. There's Jewish white,
Yes.
which is just not like Aryan white or Irish white. Let's put it that way. Jewish white is like
Vastly different.
vastly different. And now being Lenny Kravitz, do you know Lenny Kravitz? The musician, yes,
So
right?
Kravitz.
Have you ever thought he was Jewish?
I've heard that he was Jewish. I heard that he was Jewish.
You've heard?
Yep.
But I didn't know
Yeah.
at first. Like when I saw him, I had no idea.
First time I saw Lenny Kravitz, all the time he's done all this music before, a long time ago, I never knew he was actually like considered Jewish or white. Because he passes as white more than he is. In the sense of association, right?
Yes, I think also because of the base of his music is not like the population,
Black,
the
yeah.
people who listen to it generally tend to be white.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, you're listening to TDA Tele Radio every Friday 3 to 3:30. We're going to be talking all things third culture. Natasha, to you, what is third culture?
To me, it's being able to, I guess, look at the world through many different lenses.
Yes.
So you have the benefit and the privilege of having two cultures that inform the way you look at the world,
Uh-huh.
or multiple, more than two.
All right. So give us a bit of what topics we would be expecting the next number of Fridays. I can throw in some that could be interesting. Go ahead.
We talked a little bit about relationships and dating
Yes.
when you're either a third culture kid or going to create a third culture kid. There's a lot of minefields out there, people. I don't know what it's like to be a certain color
Yeah.
or a certain background, and people assume you are one way or another. We talked about this, that people don't think I speak Setswana
Yes.
because I sounded a
People
little.
think I'm Nigerian.
Hey,
I could pass that.
I did get a little bit that people thought that I was Ethiopian, so
Oh yeah, that.
yeah,
would be
that.
easy.
And people
Very
talk to me,
quick.
I'm like, I don't know what you're
have
saying.
story time where you tell us what you were telling us before we started.
Oh, yes,
You're
I've had-
telling us the situations where people.
I'm young, but I
thought
have
they
a lot of
don't
experiences.
Think that you don't understand what they're saying.
Yes.
And, you respond to them. Yeah, we'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a whole lot of things about third culture kids, where they are, who they are,
Yeah.
how they interact with the world.
Okay, so let's put it this way. So we'll break down the show into little segments, and then one of those segments will be like my story. Where you tell a story based on that particular subject that relates to whatever experience that you might have had. Like, let's say pigmentation, right? Where maybe people thought your dad was stealing you because you were like, that's my father, and you were like, hi, child, it's okay.
Blink once if you need help.
That's not your father. Uh,
Or in Botswana where they think that you're your father's girlfriend.
oh yes,
Because that's happened.
What?
yes.
Yes. Because there was I don't know if it still happens now, but there was a time in Botswana when there was a lot of older men, usually Caucasian, who dated the locals, younger women.
Yes.
And so if I went out with my father, we had dinner or went out and grabbed a drink, more often than not, they would not think we were related. They would think we're dating.
Boom. That's crazy.
Yes. So try to go home and to try to unpack that situation.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then also the other things that we might be looking at is migration to different countries, different cultures that you end up like encountering, and a whole lot of other things. I think also what I need to understand is did Doru, your husband, pay Lobola, and how many cows?
He did not. And much to my grandmother, I'm sure, is still sitting there somewhere waiting for the cows to arrive. He will never. And it is a sore spot in my grandmother's life and our relationship together. But she'll be okay.
Is it?
Yeah, no. He doesn't pay Lobola in his culture. It seems a little unfair to say that he must abide to my culture solely and not his.
There was a time I had this like infatuation of like marrying an Indian person because they pay the group, they don't pay the
Oh,
bride.
yes. And in like gold. I mean, like, those people.
Do you know?
Yeah.
I was like, how much gold am I worth? Yeah, like literally.
What?
My accountant is Indian, and he has a daughter that I've always eyed on as a kid, man. You know,
They spend so much money
I
on
could be a
that.
son-in-law. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, weddings
Spend a
are
lot of-
honestly a racket.
Yeah.
Just
So they pay for the group. You don't pay for the girl. They pay for the group.
although you shouldn't tie your self-worth to what other people think you might be worth. So you might get sad to say, "What? I'm only worth 2 cows." How, bruh? How? That's not fair.
In India as well, they worship cows. So you can't just be eating cows just so like, yeah, I'm ready to have a cow. For situation. All right, cool. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been a fantastic podcast on the TDA Tele Radio. I think having more of these conversations actually has been quite an eye-opening for me because I would be excited to see what can come out of it in terms of just like your sexual orientation being an issue in an African culture. Because
Yeah.
when you wake up and say, hey mom, I'm a guy, but I'm not a guy. I don't know how they'll take that. And bringing a guy home as a partner, how does that feel? And now schools in Europe, they're teaching these things like in primary school. What do you think? Join us again next Friday, 3 to 3:30. Thank you, Anesu. Thank you, Sleet, the DJ, and Mrs. Natasha. I gotta get the Mrs. Miss-
You'll get there.
Yeah. All right, cool. So many things to talk about in the upcoming Third Culture. Is the show called Third Culture?
So I'm playing with names.
Okay.
I
what
like
is
to
it?
name things. So
Are you still thinking about?
I'm
Should
still
we keep it
working.
as a separate, like as a surprise, or?
no, I'm trying to get into the last one.
Okay.
It's like a bracket,
Oh yeah.
One beats out the other until there's only one standing. So internally, I'm working on them.
Okay. Who do you?
Don't laugh at me. I have a process. They were making fun of me earlier because I said I like to be prepared. I'm one of those people who packs a week before I go on vacation, okay? So
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm working through some things until I'm ready to birth it.
All right, cool. Time is going 15:44. That's just about a minute to 3:45. And join us again on Monday. Slee, you're done for the day?
Yes, I'm done for the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool. So
TDA Village
TDA
on
Village
Monday.
on Monday. It
from
starts
3 to 4.
3 to 4. And
Yes.
honestly, where do we catch your tech report show?
Tech report is every day at 12 to 1 p.m.
Yes. We talk all things gadgetry.
Yes, break down the biggest headlines in tech news.
Yeah. Can I put money in cryptocurrency?
Yeah, right?
Not now, not now.
No.
Yeah, can you tell me how to buy it, when to sell it, all that good stuff?
Yeah, we can tell you that. Just tune in.
Is it? All right, cool. This has been TDA Tele Radio. It's been a fantastic week. Join us next week as we prepare and gear for our launch on June 16th. It's going to be amazing. And we out.